Hi, and welcome to my channel. I Say This With Love 33. My name is Leanne, and this is Mittens, my assistant. Anyways, if this is your first time here, thank you for visiting my channel. I feel like you were called to be here to hear what I have to say. Something that I say might resonate inside you and make your heart feel expanded, make you feel good. If that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. If you are a returning visitor, thanks for being here. My channel is created with my true, raw, authentic stories, knowledge, wisdom of life that I have attained, and I am turning around to pay it forward, to help humanity to be a light in this world. Our world and society really focuses on darkness and low vibrations, and I'm here to oppose that. The world needs light. The world needs to raise its vibration. And I have been placed in a spot and called to bring this knowledge to the world. So here I am. And today I want to talk about inner peace and how we can achieve that and what it feels like to have inner peace. And I can tell you, because I have achieved inner peace, it's just such a beautiful feeling, and I want everybody to be able to feel like this. It is available to all of us. So let's get into this and dive deep. Yeah, it might be uncomfortable, and yeah, it might require you to go backwards in time to heal some things that you might not even be aware of, but that are buried in your subconscious. So let's get started with this. So I have a beautiful saying that I read and I want to share it with you all. And it says, inner peace begins the moment you choose not to allow another person or event control your emotions. Now, how on point is that? 100% truth right there. We as people, as humans on this earth, don't really live by that statement. We allow others and events to control our emotions. We have given our power away, our strength, our internal knowing to situations, to people, to events that allow us to feel mad, angry, happy, sad, joyful, whatever the emotion might be and the feeling might be, we give our power to the outward external sources. When ultimately, and I do say this with love, it is all internal. It is all you. Everything is in you. So when we can learn how to not let external sources give us the feelings and then we blame it on that, but we take responsibility for our own feelings, then that is a step to feeling inner peace. When we give our power away to everything else outside of us to allow us what we're going to feel and how we feel today, or how might we feel later or tomorrow or yesterday, or how we felt 30 years ago when this happened and that really made you mad. That is a negative energy and a low vibration. And in order to change it and feel inner peace, learn to allow yourself to tell you how to feel. So if something doesn't feel right, if you're in a situation with somebody or something and it doesn't feel good and you feel like your heart and your body like contracting and getting tight, that's communication from your higher self, your inner self, your intuition. And you need to listen to that. I didn't listen. And I'll share this story with you. I didn't listen to my intuition, to my gut feelings, to my own inner knowledge for the first 54 years of my life. And now that I have learned to not let that happen, and I am responsible for my own feelings and how I feel and how I can block things that I know aren't going to make me feel good, I feel so amazing. And it's so empowering, and it's available to all of us. So I'm going to offer you to take the step, take the choice to not allow anything external outside of you to dictate your feelings. It's possible. I promise I did it. I felt throughout my life so many things that didn't feel good. And I chose not to listen to myself. And then I became upset or like a martyr, or like, poor me, like, oh, poor me. Everybody's just so mean to me, or doesn't listen to me, or takes advantage of me. When ultimately I am responsible for myself and how I let others treat me. And this all goes with boundaries too. But when you allow external sources other than your internal self to dictate your feelings, that places you in victim mentality. And I do say this with love, we're not victims. We are the creators of our life. But throughout our, let's go way back, throughout our maybe past lives, throughout our gestation in our mom's bellies, throughout our birth, throughout our first 7 years of life, when we are being shaped and molded, and all of the things that, the attachments that we begin to have can either be negative or positive, and we're all going to have to heal it later on in life. Nobody gets out of it, but we become like victims, because then once we get a little bit older, and then you play with friends, and then they're mean to you, and then you're like, oh, poor me, because you don't have that personality, or you don't have the boundaries, or you haven't learned the tools to protect the energies that bring you down or make you too high. But we step into that victim mentality through our families and our parents. Unconsciously, most of the time, our parents are doing the best that they can and with what they know and what they have. Because remember, again, they are born and raised in their household with their parents. And that generational trauma that was passed down to them, which goes back to their parents, and then the grandparents, and then the great-grandparents, and then the great-great-grandparents. So the cycle, it just continues to be passed down throughout the generations of victim mentality. And that's all we know until somebody, and hopefully you, can step up and be that generational trauma cycle breaker. That was me. I did it. And I feel absolutely amazing, because doing that and understanding that and feeling that and learning about that, because I didn't know anything about generational trauma and inner peace and how to break that cycle. I had to learn this all on my own, and stepping out of victimhood into I am the creator of my life has brought such inner peace, such harmony, such balance in my life. I am internally just like at peace, living my best life. And as I stated before, your external world is a reflection of your internal world. And if you want your external world to just embody peace and inner peace and joy and love, then you really truly have to get inside, go inside, push into things that don't feel good, to forgive things, to forgive people, to go back to that inner child, to go back throughout the generational trauma and breaking those cycles. You really have to go backwards, push into, feel it, heal it, and release it in order to go forward, which brings you that internal peace. Again, with everything in life, it's a choice. You can choose not to, because it might hurt too bad and maybe you're not ready. That's okay. Everybody is perfectly imperfect, and everybody is on their own path. And our own path is all in divine timing. Everything happens when we're ready. In yoga, we state, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So let me share this nugget with you. We are the student and we are the teacher. Everything we need, everything we are looking for, everything we want is inside of us. And that seems a little woo-woo and a little far out if you're not on this path yet to hear and to understand. And if somebody would have said that to me 3.5, 4 years ago, I would have been like, what on God's earth did you just say? I don't know what the hell that means, but that's woo-hoo. And now here I am, like, sharing this information because this is truth. God, source, universe gave us everything we need to get through this lifetime here on earth that, by the way, we chose to come to and learn our lessons. He has given, well, not he, not she, God has given us everything we need inside of us. And we are just peeling the layers to hopefully get back, to come back to our hearts, to quiet our mind, step out of our minds, our thinking minds, and come back to our heart, our feelings. We have lost inner peace on this earth because we have come out of our hearts and gone into our minds through society, conditioning, religion, through fear-based platforms, through control. When we can get back to our hearts, which will happen when it's supposed to happen. And like I've shared, it took me 54 years unknowingly to get back to my heart. I had the great shakeout. My soul was shaking me hard. Like, girl, things have to change. This is changing. You've got to wake up. You've got to learn to love yourself, to step up to the plate of what your purpose here on this earth chose to do. So I have, and that's why I'm sharing this beautiful information with you. But when we can step out of our mind, which is a masculine energy, the thinking, the logic, the planning, the problem solving, that's all masculine energy. And we all are balanced. We all have masculine and we all have feminine. So I'm not saying if you're a man, you have to think with your mind, and if you're a woman, it can only be your heart. No, we as humans have masculine energies and feminine energies, and that goes very deep, and I'll get into that in another video. But just know, when you're in your mind, you are in a masculine energy. When you are hyper masculine energy, it's not balanced with the feminine energy, you can't have inner peace. If you are hyper feminine energy and you're not balanced with the masculine energy, you cannot find inner peace. There has to be harmony, there has to be balance, as with everything in life. There's like positive and negative, there's like opposites, cold, hot, darkness, lightness. As above, so below. This all plays a part in finding your inner peace. So we need to be 50-50, but our ego, our conditioning, our learning has us all mostly up in here. And we begin to only be up in here in our mind. And that's why we're like, I can't do this, or we have our self-limiting beliefs and doubts. I could never do that. I can't do this. I'm not smart enough. I think I'm not good enough. I think that that's too hard for me. When you can consciously stop yourself and be aware of when those thoughts are coming into your mind, when your ego is playing way too big, and it does, the ego is very tricky, and you allow yourself to come into your heart and feel it. And instead of, like, if an outward source is upsetting you or bringing up emotions that you're not happy with, or it's too much for you, allow yourself to not react and maybe not even respond right at that time. But take time to be like, take a step away, gather your emotions, see how you're feeling. Allow yourself to go into your body, into your heart, and see how it's feeling. And move from that point. If your body's feeling contracted and tight and like icky, don't do it. Don't respond, don't react. Take time away. If your body's feeling like light and open and your heart space feels open and beautiful, then yeah, it's a yes. Even if your mind is saying, no, that's scary, I can't do that, I don't want to do that, we've never done that before, that's not comfortable, I don't know how to do that, I could never learn that. Quiet your mind, open your heart, take those steps to do things differently, relearn how to do things, maybe relearn who you are as a person, relearn the beliefs that you have. Why do you believe what you believe? And now I'm going to go over here for a minute, but question everything. Question everything everybody says, what everybody's preaching out in the world, what you hear online, what you hear on social media, even what I'm telling you. Question it. Why does she say that? Why does she do this or do that? Is that right for me? Like, is there truth in that? But I can tell you I speak clearly from the truth. But when I began to question things, because I would always feel it throughout my life, ooh, that doesn't feel right or sound right. Like, I don't know if I believe that. But then that's as far as I got. I wouldn't push into the question, like, how does that person, or how does, let's just say religion for example, how does that man up on the pulpit or leading church reading from the Bible, how does he know what's right and what's wrong? Like, how is he able to get up there and preach these things when, like, I know things about this person and their family that, like all humans, has some dark stuff going on? How can he stand up there and preach this and tell us we're sinners and that we're going to go to hell and that we're rotten wretches, and he's holier than thou because he went to, school about God, but yet he's just human and he's living out darkness and he has wounds to heal? Like, I would question that and not fully get it. And when I got to the space in my life where I began to question and then discern, huge word, huge thing, discern what is right for you. What's right for me and what I pass on through my wisdom and knowledge might not resonate with you, might not be the right way or the right thing for you. So discern. Don't just trust everybody and everything. Learn to go inward and ask your body. Ask your higher self. Ask the God within you, because we all have the Christ consciousness within us, what is right for me. And it's okay if it's different for you than it is for this guy. Even if you're like with your significant other, if something's good for you but not good for that significant other, that's okay. It doesn't make one person right and one person wrong. It just is. And everybody is on their own path, whether you're in a relationship or not, and everybody is on their own divine plan, their own divine timing. Things happen when they're supposed to happen. So when you can learn how to discern and to question things, never take anybody's word 100%, because a lot of people have bad intentions and ill will, and you can get scammed and scandaled and all that. So allow yourself to feel and what is right for you. Try to allow yourself and learn how to find your inner peace, feel your inner peace. As I have mentioned before, and I do have videos on meditation, find huge inner peace throughout meditation. Sitting with yourself in silence can bring a lot of that inner chatter, that inner knowing, that inner voice up to the surface. You might not be ready for that. You might be ready for that. That can be uncomfortable. That could be sticky, because for all the years of your life, you've pushed it away. You've stayed busy. You've brushed things under the carpet. You haven't allowed yourself to feel and to cut the cord and release it, to move on. When we learn how to cut the cords, karmic cords, energetic cords, and move on, that brings inner peace. So here's what I'll share with you. When feelings come up that remind you of uncomfortable times, of pain, of not an expansive growth, but perhaps a memory of trauma, a memory of like, I don't know why I keep feeling this way, but it makes me feel heavy. Like, what is it? I need to release it. When you can allow yourself to sit in stillness and in silence and feel any feelings that come up, allow them, push into them, ask yourself, ask your higher source, your God, like, why? Why do I feel this? What is it? What happened? What took place in my lifetime or perhaps other lifetimes ago? What is making me feel contracted and hurt and traumatized? I want to cut that. I want to feel into it. I want to release it. And when you allow yourself to become aware of it, push into it, allow the feelings to come up. Cry if you need to cry. Scream if you need to scream. Hit a pillow, laugh, dance, whatever it is that your body feels that it needs to do to release those trapped energies. Let it happen organically. Let it take place. Allow the time. Give yourself time to feel that and let the energy come out through movement, through tears, through breath work, through however it is it needs to come out. And then release it and say, thank you for the lessons that you have taught me and brought me. And now I'm moving forward. And you're going to feel so amazing. You're going to feel such inner peace. I can honestly tell you, like the first time that happened with me and I was at an event, Awaken Your Highest Self, absolutely life-transforming, life-changing event. I didn't know what to expect. I was at a very pivotal time in my life of this huge, huge transformation, unknowingly at that time. And I got to go be part of it. And it offered breath work and healing the inner child and forgiving yourself and learning how to love yourself. So I'm putting back out there into the world what I have learned and come across. And if you can allow yourself, maybe through yourself in meditation, maybe you might need a coach, maybe you might need a therapist. But you got to find somebody, if you do go outward, that resonates with you in your heart and understands the significance of like the psychology, the healing, the inner child, the generational trauma, the ability to forgive yourself, the ability to release fear, guilt, and shame for going through those things in your life. I had to release, I didn't know I held fear, guilt, and shame with myself throughout my years in my relationship, actually my whole life, because I came on this earth to learn certain things, and unknowingly I did. It took me a long time, but I did it. But I had to learn how to like myself, how to love myself unconditionally throughout all my choices in life, throughout all the mistakes that I made, throughout all the ugly, sticky, uncomfortable things that I allowed myself to go through. I had to learn to release that. And that carries fear, guilt, shame. And when I was able in my first breathwork session at my Awaken event to go inward, to go in deep through the breathwork, see myself as a child that I was, and it's just so beautiful. Thinking back there, man, it's so beautiful. Because you, makes me a little choked up, you yourself know what you endured as a child. Nobody on this earth has a beautiful, like flower-filled, rainbow-filled childhood. We all have had something go on and some kind of trauma to learn and grow through. But when we are at the age where we have to experience that first trauma, that's the age we get stuck and trapped at. So when you're able to go inward and heal that you as a child, your inner child, and you tell yourself that you're proud of yourself, you went through a lot, you were strong, you were fierce, you were open, and that like, I love you and I am proud of you, and let's heal this together because we did it, we made it. When you are able to go into that space and say those things to yourself, like, whoa, the weight of the world just comes off your shoulders. I was like flying on cloud 9 for weeks. It was so transformational. And to think that I never even heard about that or knew about that. But again, hindsight, if I knew then what I know now, then I wouldn't be the person I am today because I had to go through that to get to here. So it all happens in divine timing, but it can happen if you choose to let it happen. There's tools, there's coaches. I can guide you if you need guidance. Just leave a comment in the comment section. It truly is a space to bring you inner peace when you are able to learn how to love yourself unconditionally throughout your failures, throughout your mistakes, throughout your traumas, throughout failed businesses, failed relationships, failed parenting, whatever it is that you have experienced and you have heaviness with. If you can allow yourself to quiet that ego, that mind that tells you you're a wretch and you're an asshole and you never do anything right and you're stupid and you're a failure and you should be so much farther ahead and you will never make yourself anything in this life, and why can't you be like this person, and why don't you look like that, and why don't you feel like that? When you can stop all that bullshit, fucking fake chatter, your ego just being the rock in your mind that won't move away, but you can. When you can stop that and be aware of that and like push into that, feel it, release it, and just drop into your heart and know that, you know what? You are beautiful, you are divine, you are love, you are light, you are peace. You have a place here on this earth to shine your light. And everything in your past that you are not content with or not happy with or you have regret, know that you chose to learn those lessons before you came here. And you did it. And did you learn from those lessons? If you didn't, each time you die and then reincarnate, you're going to continue to learn those lessons if you don't learn them in that specific lifetime. It goes deep. It's really deep. And again, it sounds woo-woo, but I testify like that is truth. I understand it. I know it. I've learned it. I feel it. It is a space that can just open your heart, and you can just inhale and then just exhale all the guilt, fear, shame, regret. Just exhale it all out. And it takes time. Nothing happens overnight. Nothing out there. And let me tell you, let's go back to what I said. Don't ever trust anybody. Don't believe everything you hear. Question everything. Discern what is right for you. There is no magic pill or magic remedy that is going to take you to inner peace or a state of where you want to be instantly or overnight. Like anything in life, it takes time. It takes lessons. It takes growth. It takes patience. It takes understanding. And the universe, God, source, gives you everything you need when you are ready for it. And I say this with love. And some of this is very hard to hear and very hard to swallow and be like, oh God, like really? Oh, I don't know about that. Like, and you're your defensive mechanisms might be coming on, like, oh no, I'm not a victim, Leanne. Like, I'm not a victim, I'm just great. But notice, like, feel into that. You are the co-creator of your life. And any past regrets, say in relationships or workspace or any dynamic where you maybe have wished that you would have done things differently, or you felt like the victim in a situation, know that you are the co-creator of whatever situation, relationship, space that you are or were in. You are the co-creator. Nothing happened to you. You called it all in, and it's happening for you. That's hard. When I first heard that, and that, like, I'm the co-creator of my situation, and at my event that I went to, and I was coming out of my relationship and my victim mentality of being a victim to my narcissistic ex-husband, and I'm just an empath. And then those harsh words came out of his mouth and said, you know, there's no such thing like as a narcissist, which, yeah, there's narcissistic personality disorder, but you are the co-creator of that relationship. And I was like, oh, what? Like, what the hell did he just say to me? My wall kind of came up. But then I allowed myself to, like, really, like, it wouldn't leave my heart and my mind. Like, he kept saying that. And I'm like, what does he mean? Like, wow, like, how does that work? And then he went a little bit further into the explanation of when you meet somebody or you attract somebody into your space, your life, and you are both in a wounded state, you're not healed and neither are they. Your wounded state called in and attracted that wounded state, and you come together in your wounded states. And then if one of you begins to heal and heal those traumas and those wounds, the alignment isn't there anymore. So that resonated with my heart, and I looked back into my whole relationship and I was like, dang, like, bam, like, if that ain't the flippin' truth, I don't know what is. And then I'm like, holy shit, I did co-create that. I did. And now I can relearn and unlearn all the coping mechanisms, all the victim mentality, and all the things that I learned and acquired throughout my first 54 years of life, undoing it. So that's the time that it takes. Undoing all the things, all the traumas, all the learning, all the aspects of, like, what you're supposed to be, how you need to be. You need to be nice, and you need to do this, and you shouldn't have boundaries, and blah, 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 blah. I've been unlearning all that for the past 3.5, 4 years, and there's so much inner peace, and I know there's more. Like, every day is a learning experience. You never stop learning. You never stop growing. So I'm gonna stop there because I could go on forever, and perhaps I'll do another video. But inner peace is attainable. And when you can find and allow yourself to get to that space, you can turn around and offer that love and light and inner peace out to all the people you know, out to your family, your friends, social media, because the more love and light and inner peace that we embody and can put out into the world, the better place our world's going to be. Like, humanity's going to get to a higher vibration. I love that. That feels so good. So my intention is, like, man, if I can just help one person out there to feel and resonate with what I'm saying and what I am living and what I am here to put out into the world, that's beautiful. I love that. I know there's more. We all have trauma. We all have stories. And although they might be slightly different, we are all the same. We are all human on this earth to learn how to heal our traumas. So let's stop there. I say all this with love. Truly, I say this with love. It's hard to hear. It's hard to understand. And again, relax. Allow yourself, if you're not ready and this is a little bit too far out there for you, that's okay. It's okay. Maybe come back at a later date and maybe you'll be ready. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. So again, if you like this, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for being part of this community and coming to my channel. I appreciate it. This is a beautiful, safe space. I truly say all this with love. Namaste.